peril facing micro-lenders is serious. The micro-lender relies on debt collection. It's classic lending in the old-fashioned way. They lend, they get some of the money back, and they are able then to use that money to lend to new people. Now, the problem, of course, is recovering debts, and debt collection isn't possible at the moment in many cases because of coronavirus. One of the largest micro-lenders, Kiva, is also non-profit, which means there isn't much of a cash cushion left to fall back on when things get difficult. Now, Kiva offers 0% interest loans to small companies. It's created a global COVID-19 response fund with partners like Hitachi. And so far, it's helped 8,000 borrowers in more than 40 countries, including $2 million of support for US entrepreneurs. Kiva says it hopes to help thousands of businesses survive 2020 and the COVID crisis. Neville Crawley is with me, the CEO of Kiva. He joins me from San Francisco. So you've lent the money. What is the issue and the difficulty? Is it getting the payments back in so that you can then facilitate further lending?
Well, thank you, Richard. Good to join you. There are a couple of challenges right now. One is obviously the collection of repayments. We have a lot of the world in lockdown. But over all time, we've seen a 97% repayment rate with Kiva. And we're confident that ultimately small entrepreneurs, small business owners are very resilient. One of the challenges right now is that actually the microfinance field staff are not able to get out there and make loans. We estimate in over April and May, there's been something like a 75% reduction in small business lending around the world.
Where are you targeting most? I presume, of course, those countries that didn't have a sophisticated government intervention for small businesses would be where need is most.
We operate in 70 countries around the world. And right now, rather than it being a specific geographic area, the challenge, I think the way that this economic crisis is evolving, it's really hitting the working poor and the small business owners globally in every country. Say it's hitting here in the US, it's hitting in Kenya, it's hitting in the Philippines. It's the people who are really most vulnerable and most exposed. They're the ones who are seeing access to finance being reduced or completely cut off.
So what can you do? I mean, you can lend. I mean, the micro-lender philosophy is a brilliant one, but it doesn't always work well in times of great strain and credit deficit, for the very reason that you do rely to a certain extent for your own funding on better times.
Well, right now, I think microfinance is, or the work that we're doing on microfinance is incredibly important at this moment, because we're seeing government programs, we're seeing a whole lot of kind of interventions here, but microfinance is very, very agile. In the US, we've been able to fund loans in between 3 to 6 days in many cases, so very, very quickly. And also the crowdfunding version of microfinance that we do, the crowd has a forgiveness to it, so we can make loans that no one else would make. And right now, that agility and that ability to kind of get the money exactly where it's needed is so important. So every day that goes by, another business goes out of business forever. So that the speed is incredibly important right now. And that's one of the things that crowdfunding can do.
So bring this home to us so I fully understand the magnitude of the crisis. What do you expect the percentage of businesses will go out of business? Or maybe better still, what would you expect the percentage of defaults, your non-performing loans, to go to?
Well, I mean, globally, we see a couple of billion people that don't even have a bank account. They don't even have basic access to finance. And so, and right now, it's all about getting the amount of money getting some money to a farmer so they can buy the seeds for the crops next year, getting a store some money so they can restock the shelves. So you've really got a couple of billion people out there globally who are very, very exposed at this moment without access to finance. So if we don't take action, if we don't get this right, the economic impact is truly catastrophic and can set the world back decades of the gains that we've made or people have made for themselves, lifting themselves out of poverty.
That's the crucial point. Those people who have managed to make it into a middle class who are now finding themselves thrust back into abject poverty. Neville, I'm very grateful that you came and talked to us this morning, got up early. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.